Good morning. Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. I'm going to talk to you today about the frog in the pot being boiled, right? And how you don't want that to be you. And how it can sneak up on you. It's going to be 82 degrees today. That's awesome. I told my congregation on Shabbat Saturday, I think this might be the warmest Shabbat now until next year. Yes, yes. All right. The frog in the pot of water. You know, you throw a frog, you can't throw a frog into boiling water, he'll jump out. You throw the frog into cold water and you slowly turn up the heat until it's too hot and the frog boils. Do you think at some point in there that frog thinks, oh, goodness, I am hosed. I'm done for. Too late. Can't get out. I think so. Another analogy I gave in the sermon this week, you can see it on Shofar Mountain, was about being on a train, a gorgeous world-class, first-class, elite-style train on a multi-day journey with beautiful scenery and all the best food and cars and people and entertainment. Dun, dun, dun. You get a ticket, you and your family, to get on it. And let me shut this door. I can talk while I do that. Don't want the flies flying in. Ouch. And so it's like, yay, we're going on a trip. It's going to be awesome. All paid for. And then you find out that at some point in the trip, undetermined, you have discovered that that train is going to have a catastrophic wreck. Would you get off the train or would you even bother getting on it? Sane people would say, I'm getting off immediately or I'm never getting on it. Do you remember reading about the Jews pre-World War II, Germany, and other countries, Europe? And when you look back on it or you see some of the movies, it's like, how could they not have left? You know, they kept hoping it was going to get better and hoping it was going to get better, and it didn't. Now, the smart ones left. Whether they left with all their money, some of their money, or none of their money and stuff, the smart ones left and lived. So, you know, I did a couple videos on YouTube, and I think I posted them here also, on South Africa. And they're quite popular on YouTube right now, which is not why I made them. I didn't make them to be popular. And I'm getting a lot of comments, and I'm banning a lot of people. I've brought them out of the woodwork, and so I just use that ban hammer, man. But I get people writing and telling me, you're a racist, you're this, you're that. No, I'm not. Not. First of all, white, black, colored are terms that the Africans, South Africans use for themselves, not, you know, what I made up. And that's how they distinguish themselves. And I'm just pointing out that this is a terrible thing. And people are writing to me like in all caps and stuff. You don't know anything about South Africa, blah, blah, blah. Except as it turns out, they're not from South Africa. And all, I'm pretty sure all of the comments I've gotten from South Africa are along the lines of, you're dead on, mate. 100%. And then I have had some people from South Africa, as I asked for, reach out to me, either in very lengthy comments, which I've let stand, or in emails and things like that. Wow. I I made a suggestion, which quite frankly I thought was brilliant, which a lot of people do when they don't fully understand the situation, as was the case with me. But you know, and I know about Sightlanders and Laura Southern, and I've seen Farmlands. Yes, yes, yes. Um, it seems that these farmsteads, much like American farmsteads, don't have a whole lot of people living in the main house. It's not like the extended families farming anymore. Mechanization, America, 21st century, whatever. And so when the bad guys come, a couple things happen. Either the black, cheap laborers that work for them and are kind of hanging out at the farm either run away, or they get killed also, or they actually join or perpetuate the attack. In any case, they're not much help. And I saw stuff about the white squatter camps, which I may address in this later. Um, and my idea was, well, why don't you go get those people who have lost everything and have nothing and therefore are squatting in the camps, bring them to your farm and let them do the work. At least you know they're on your side because they got to be, or they're definitely dead when this thing goes down. And then you'll have like a untrained militia on your place. And then several South Africans took the time to inform me that they have this law vigorously enforced in South Africa, which is something like 80% black, 9% white, and then 11% other. Um, that you have to hire 80% of your workforce has to be black. No matter what your business is, could be banking. So on a farm, when you count the farm family as workers, because they are, that means basically all your other workers that you're going to hire are going to have to be black. You can't hire whites legally. They're unhireable. It's reverse apartheid. It's one of the I read an article that said it's the only place in the world it's not, where the majority has rules in place to protect the majority like that. Malaysia also has them. Um, Malaysians have rules that say that Malaysian society is made up of Malays, Chinese, and Indians in the main. 60% of them are Malays. And there's rules that you have to have like so much Malaysian participation in all your business. I could go off on a tangent on that, but I won't. Um, so they can't hire the whites. And you can't have useless eaters. You can't have people. Those farmers aren't getting by any more than our farmers are. So it's not like you can just bring people in and feed them, although some people are trying. Um, and so then I read today, excuse me, in South Africa. I guess they're like here in America, the farmers are mortgaged to the hilt, right? They owe on their farms and stuff. That when the banks have taken a decision that when the government comes and seizes their land without compensation, which they're making legal to do, the farmer's still on the hook for the money. So, on the one hand, it sounds silly and I laughed, right? Because how the heck do you expect him to pay when you've just taken away his livelihood? He's not going to be able to. Two, one would assume that what's the word? I haven't had enough coffee. The collateral for the loan is probably the land itself. So if the government takes land without compensation and the farmer goes up, I'm done. Well, the collateral's the land, but you can't get the land because the government stole it. And so they're going to be in debt. What do you want to bet debtors' prisons are coming? Right? You're failing to meet your obligations, therefore, because we denied you the ability to do so, therefore you must go to jail where you're going to die. What do you want from us? We want you to die. Genocide has started, and it's going to get worse. Let me put this, I can't put it in airplane mode while I'm doing it. And I got comments from some South Africans. Well, what about us? We're not farmers. And okay, well, I'm using the farmers as an example. If you are a white South African, you need to leave. And so then I get the comment. Okay, so one, we can't do it because of those reasons. Two, it cost a lot of money to emigrate, to leave South Africa. Emigrate from. Well, yeah, they're at the bottom of the world. Um, if you've noticed, if you look around the border of South Africa, not so much. It's not like they can skip across into Canada. Um, and so they use the excuse, we got no money, we can't do it. You know what? In the main, that's probably true. Although I'm thinking they could get together with what little money they have and buy, rent, charter a boat, a freighter, and just go and then make themselves refugees on the shores of some country. It's really easy to sneak into a country from their ocean, by the way. Um, so there's that. And I am a problem solver by nature. I see problems and I automatically go to solving them. Most men, to some degree, are, and most women, to another degree, are more commiserators than solvers. It's what gets in the way of male female communication. You know, your wife comes home and says, "Oh, I had a horrible day. I ran out of gas, and then this happened." And the man automatically jumps to, "Why'd you run out of gas? Why'd you let it go?" That's not what she wants to hear. What she wants to hear is, "Oh, baby, that sounds terrible. Boy, that must have been really scary for you." That's what women want to hear in the main. Men don't talk to each other like that. Not real men. Men are like, "You idiot! What'd you let it run out of gas for?" I'm digressing. Um, but I'm a problem solver. So here's what I'm starting to think for South Africa. And hopefully there's at least a couple of y'all on here that are connected with the Saitlanders. I don't really know how to pronounce that word. It looks like Sweetlanders to me, but I know it's like Saitlanders. Um, that maybe can get the word. I wrote them an email. And I said, "Hey, I'm me. I'm Joe Fox. I've got a YouTube channel, 95,000 people. I did 2 videos on the plight of white South Africans. How can I help?" Crickets. All right. We raised 17,000 US dollars for a Thai orphanage. You know, maybe somebody can talk to them. Anyway, my potential solution of bringing the destitute whites onto your farms to be farmers will not work. Would still work here in this country when that time comes. But it won't work there. And I remember many people saying to me on the YouTube video, "Look at you. Would you run? Would you leave if that was happening to you where you are?" And for the people I deigned to answer, I said, "Yes, I would." Because I know what it's like to see bullets coming both ways. And I don't want my loved ones getting shot. So, yeah, I'll run. But there comes a point when you cannot run anymore. And when you cannot run anymore, you do not curl up into a fetal position, suck your thumb, and go, "Wah, wah, wah." You fight. Fight or flight. Right? And if you have an ounce of sense, and there are clearly people in South Africa who do, by virtue of some of the videos I have watched, and one I posted here for the Warriors, um, there's got to be a plan. And the more I think about it, I think there is a plan to move out into the veldt. Once again, the undesirable to the urban masses land, seize it and hold it and create a homeland. There's going to have to be a division of South Africa, a breaking. And to that end, I really hope these South Africans have some military planners. The guys who maybe probably are planning that. You need military planners. It looked like their plan for the wagon trains was fairly well thought out to a degree, but more on a tactical level, not on an operational or strategic level. Um, but they have to pick the right part of land to start with and know how they're going to defend it with what against whom. And what I fear, I don't fear anything, but it's a word. that when they do this, because I see it as the only option I'm starting to see for the white South Africans is to create their own homeland out of a piece of South Africa, probably on land that nobody really wants. Um, Civil War's coming. The the fear I have though is that the world will come against the Boer. So South African leadership who's planning that needs to be very, very careful. And they have to really manage their PR campaign, and they need to get it into high gear now. Probably need to hire some people. Because I could see the world saying, oh, look at these renegade terrorist, whatevers. We need to go send U.S. F-35s over there to bomb them or something. But if they could make their case, they might be able to succeed. But it's the frog in the water thing. What they should have done is when Mandela was elected, they should have left. They should have got while the getting was good. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. What are you going to do now, PL? I think that's it. I think they're going to have to band together in large numbers with military leadership, picking their place, their time, and planning their battles now. You better start working on that hard. I don't think they have much time. I don't think they have 5 years. And I still say, if you can go, if you are a white South African and you can leave, leave. We can't get visas. You can get tourist visas and then skip out on it. I don't know if South Africa's still a Commonwealth country and if they can go freely to other Commonwealth countries or not. I don't know. I don't have to know. It's not my problem. But if I could leave South Africa, I would. If I couldn't, I'd be prepared to fight. And you can't fight as onesies. You can't fight as twosies. You can't fight as a mag. They are going to need a huge national network. And they're all going to have to go to the same place, generally speaking, so they don't get picked off piecemeal. Sad to say. I had somebody write me and say, don't talk about that. People will find out you're letting the cat out of the bag. Oh, come on. Come on. Never underestimate the power of stupid people in large numbers. Something like that. Frog in the water. So, bring it back to you. You're not a South African, not the vast majority of you. What about you? You better be constantly reading your tea leaves. You better constantly have your nose to the wind and have a plan B. And for those silly people who say, nope, I'm just going to fight and die right here at Shofar Mountain. If they come here, they're going to have to fight through me. That's stupid. Why are you a prepper and a survivalist if you're going to just basically commit suicide on your place? It's dumb. Have a better plan than that. Most people are just too intellectually lazy to come up with another plan. They're too exhausted by planning their first plan. They don't want to think about coming up with 3 or 4 more. And so they're like, nope, I'm just going to do this. But that when the time comes, when the horde of ghouls is coming across the North Pasture or whatever, you're going to wish you'd listen to PJ. And I don't want that. I don't want regret. I want happiness. So think these things out ahead of time. And think about forming with other people. Because in South Africa, it's one dynamic. In the United States, if there's total chaos, it could be a totally different dynamic. It could be a bunch of bubbas and pickup trucks and four-wheelers and those little racy dune buggy looking things who form a little gang of bad guys and start enacting their will all over the countryside where you are. Doesn't have to be racial. Bad times are coming. It's written in the word. Nation shall rise against nation. That's race war. Kingdom against kingdom. That's real war. Bad times are coming. Have some plans. Have some people. Take some steps. If those South Africans had done what I suggested when Mandela was elected and started working on their exit plan then, they wouldn't be in the position they're in now. But now they're in a position. I think there's another great trek in the future. I think there are people planning it. I think more people need to get involved. And for those who are planning it, you need to get some experts. And you need to be ready to fight. Real fight. Tanks and airplanes fight. All right. I feel for those people. I can't do anything to help them. Not really. But I can help you. Look and learn. Look at the Jews before World War II. Writing was all over the wall. Look at the Boer in South Africa and others. You know, I made a mention in a sermon a couple weeks ago, and then I'll end because I'm going to pick another example. Oh, that's a funny thing too. The people who say they stole it, they deserve to have it stolen. I actually commented back on somebody who said that the other day. It's like, what a totally ignorant comment from a historical empire migrations of man standpoint. Read some world history, dude. Everybody stole everybody's land. You know, the blacks who are in South Africa now stole it from other blacks. Are you saying that all blacks are the same? Why, that's politically incorrect. It's just like saying this land belongs to the Indians in America. The Indians would probably beg to differ on that they're all one. Right? You know, they're nations, right? Cherokee Nation, Osage Nation, you know, stuff like that. And they all stole the land from each other too. You know, the Romans stole land from people. Somebody, I'm sure, enslaved my people somewhere back there. Should I go be able to get a chunk of Austria now? You know, come on. It's the way of man. It's the way of the world. The Israelites stole all the land across the Jordan River. They didn't steal it, God gave it to them. Mm-hmm. Depends on your perspective, right? One man's freedom fighters, another man's terrorists. But anyway, what about when the Huns came into Western Europe? Or as you're looking at it, I guess you could stay and be killed, enslaved, or assimilated, or you could flee. And that's what happened. Whole groups of people fled, you know, all over the place. And that's how all these different tribes, the Picts, the Angles, the, you know, the whatever, Saxons, you know, they're moving all over Europe. It's the way of people. All right. Don't get caught in a pot of boiling water where it's too late to jump out in all your situations. Read, watch, and learn. Take the lessons you can, apply them to you and yours, and do better. All right. I'll see you out there.